Autonomous vehicles test the path to sustainable transportation. Autonomous vehicles continue to feature prominently in corporate and municipal sustainability strategies, often positioned as a pathway to lower emissions, safer roads, and more efficient urban mobility. Yet recent incidents, including a self-driving vehicle operating on active light rail tracks in Phoenix, highlight a widening gap between long-term promise and near-term operational reality. For executives evaluating sustainable transportation investments, the question is no longer whether autonomous vehicles matter, but how and under what conditions they can responsibly support sustainability goals. The sustainability case for autonomous vehicles. At their best, autonomous vehicles align closely with sustainability objectives. Many deployments are electric by design, reducing tailpipe emissions and supporting corporate decarbonization targets. When paired with shared mobility models, autonomous fleets could reduce private car ownership, ease congestion, and lower total vehicle miles traveled in dense urban areas. From an equity perspective, autonomous shuttles and robotaxis also offer potential gains. For aging populations, people with disabilities, and communities underserved by fixed-route transit, on-demand automated mobility could expand access without the infrastructure intensity of rail or bus expansion. These benefits remain central to why cities and corporate partners continue to pilot autonomous systems despite recent setbacks. The Phoenix incident, a cautionary signal. In January 2026, a Waymo robotaxi was observed driving onto active light rail tracks in Phoenix, prompting renewed scrutiny of autonomous vehicle readiness in complex urban environments. While no collision occurred, the incident underscored a persistent challenge. Automated systems can misinterpret mixed-use infrastructure, where visual cues are subtle and rules are context-dependent. For executives, the significance lies less in the isolated error and more in what it reveals about system maturity. Light rail corridors, bus-only lanes, and shared rights-of-way are increasingly common in cities pursuing sustainable transport. These same features introduce ambiguity that autonomous systems are still learning to manage reliably. Why standards matter more than speed? The industry response has increasingly centered on standards and operational discipline rather than rapid scale. Frameworks such as ISO SAE PAS 22736 clarify the levels of driving automation and emphasize the importance of defined operating domains. Complementary standards like ISO 22737 place limits on speed, environment, and use cases to reduce exposure where risk is highest. These guardrails are not merely technical, they are reputational and financial risk controls. For organizations aligning transportation choices with ESG commitments, the cost of a high-visibility failure, regulatory pushback, public distrust, or halted pilots can outweigh the near-term benefits of early adoption. Balancing opportunity and exposure. Autonomous vehicles still offer meaningful upside when deployed thoughtfully. Controlled environments, such as campuses, industrial parks, ports, and low-speed urban shuttles, remain strong candidates for early value creation. In these settings, automation can improve energy efficiency, reduce labor constraints, and support emissions reductions without the complexity of open urban streets. At the same time, recent incidents reinforce the limits of today's technology. Full autonomy across all conditions remains out of reach, and executive teams should resist narratives that frame autonomy as a plug-and-play sustainability solution. Instead, it should be evaluated as one component within a broader mobility portfolio that includes electrification, public transit investment, and demand management. What executives should watch in 2026. Looking ahead, 3 signals will matter most. Operational boundaries. How narrowly companies define and enforce where autonomous systems can operate. Integration with city planning, whether deployments complement or complicate existing sustainable transport infrastructure. Standards adoption, the extent to which global frameworks are embedded into procurement, partnerships, and risk assessments. Autonomous vehicles remain a potentially powerful tool in the transition to cleaner, more efficient transport. But as recent events show, sustainability leadership will depend less on how quickly organizations adopt automation and more on how deliberately they balance innovation with safety, trust, and system readiness. You've been listening to Sustainability Soundbites by Environment and Energy Leader. For partnership opportunities, please reach out to our team.